Picture this. It is Saturday night in Las Vegas. The desert sun has just gone down, and the heat is still rising off the asphalt. Out on the strip, the neon is doing what it always does, blazing, pulsing, refusing to sleep. The Bellagio fountains are dancing, the casinos are full. The city that never stops is in full swing. But tonight, the most relentless city in the world has one thing on its mind: wrestling inside. Allegiant Stadium. 50,000 people are on their feet. Kids wearing Cody Rhodes t-shirts. Adults holding handmade signs. Groups of friends who flew in from different countries just to be in this building, on this night, in this city. There are flags from Brazil, Mexico, Japan, Germany, Australia. There are people who are 7 years old and people who are 70. And every single one of them is screaming at the top of their lungs as the lights go dark and the music begins to build. Welcome to WrestleMania. Not just a wrestling show. It has never been just a wrestling show. WrestleMania is the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment, a collision of theater, athleticism, storytelling, nostalgia, and pure adrenaline that has no equal anywhere else on Earth. And in 2026, in its 42nd edition, it returned to Las Vegas, and it delivered everything it promised. Today, we are going to cover all of it. The history behind the event, the controversies, the road to Las Vegas, the matches from night one, the moments nobody expected, and everything that is still coming on. Night 2. Stay with me, because this is a story worth every minute. Let's go back to where this all started. The year is 1985. Vince McMahon, the chairman of what was then called the WWF, has an idea. Not a small idea. Not a cautious idea, a completely insane, go big or go home, bet everything idea. He wants to create a wrestling event so massive, so star-studded, so undeniably spectacular, that it would change the entire landscape of sports entertainment forever. On March 31st, 1985, the first WrestleMania took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The main event featured Hulk Hogan and the actor. Mr. T taking on Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. Liberace performed before the show. Muhammad Ali served as a guest referee. The event was broadcast via closed-circuit television to arenas across the country, a technological feat for the era. It was an immediate, undeniable success. What was meant to be a one-time swing for the fences became an annual tradition, a ritual. A calendar event that wrestling fans across the world circle in red every single year. Over 4 decades, WrestleMania became the stage where the biggest moments in wrestling history were written. Hulk Hogan and his championship reigns. The Undertaker building an undefeated streak that lasted over 20 years and felt supernatural by the end. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in one of the greatest matches ever contested. Steve Austin and the Texas Rattlesnake Era. The Rock and John Cena in a match that stopped the world. And in recent memory, Cody Rhodes completing the story. His father never got to finish, winning the title that Dusty Rhodes always dreamed of, but never held. WrestleMania is not just wrestling. It is pop culture. It is emotion. It is the collective memory of millions of fans who grew up watching these people fly off the top rope, cut promos that felt like speeches, and built stories that lasted for months before resolving in a single explosive night. And in 2026, the story got another chapter. Now, before we talk about what happened inside that stadium, we need to talk about how WrestleMania 42 ended up in Las Vegas at all. Because that story is almost as dramatic as the event itself. Originally, WrestleMania 42 was not going to be in Las Vegas. It was scheduled for New Orleans, Louisiana. The announcement was made during a SmackDown episode in February 2025 by none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, board member of TKO, the parent company of WWE, and one of the most famous human beings on the planet. The Rock stood in front of the cameras in all his larger-than-life presence and told the world that WrestleMania 42 would be held at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans on April 11th and 12th, 2026. The reaction was electric. New Orleans has a deep history in wrestling. The city hosted WrestleMania 30 in 2014, one of the most beloved editions of the event ever. The night Daniel Bryan overcame impossible odds and climbed.
And when it came time to negotiate for 2026, Las Vegas came to the table with a bigger offer, a significantly bigger offer. One that the WWE simply could not walk away from. So New Orleans got a promise, a future. WrestleMania, plus the 2026. Money in the bank, and Las Vegas got the show again. The Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders in the NFL, became the venue. A world-class facility with a capacity of over 68,000 people, in the middle of a city that is built for spectacle. In many ways, it is hard to imagine a more fitting home for the grandest stage of them all. This is actually the third time WrestleMania has taken place in the Las Vegas area. The first was in 1993 when WrestleMania IX was held outdoors at Caesar's Palace, an event remembered for its Roman toga theme and a controversial finish in the main event. The second was WrestleMania 41 in 2025. And now, WrestleMania 42 makes it 3. And the second consecutive year at the exact same venue. That has only happened once before in the entire 42-year history of the event. Now, another thing that makes WrestleMania 42 historically significant is how people around the world are watching it. Because the answer to that question has changed dramatically. For decades, WrestleMania was a pay-per-view event. You had to pay a separate fee, often a significant one, just to watch it. Over time, in the United States, it moved to the Peacock streaming platform. But internationally, access was inconsistent and often frustrating for fans outside of North America. In 2024, WWE announced a landmark partnership with Netflix, a deal that would bring WWE content, including the flagship show, Monday Night Raw, and premium live events to the world's most popular streaming platform, and that partnership changed everything. WrestleMania 42 is available live on Netflix for international audiences. If you are outside the United States and you have a Netflix subscription, you have WrestleMania. In the United States, the event airs on ESPN, part of the Disney family of networks. Two of the most powerful media brands in the world, working together to bring professional wrestling to more screens than ever before in its history. For fans in Brazil, in Argentina, in Portugal, in every corner of the globe, where wrestling has a passionate fan base. This is a revolution. The days of scrambling for illegal streams or paying for obscure satellite packages are over. WrestleMania is on Netflix, right there, next to your shows, ready to watch. And speaking of watching, let's get into what actually happened on night one of WrestleMania 42 took place on Saturday, April 18, 2026. Before a single match was contested, the night opened with a video narrated by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yes, the creator of Hamilton, the Pulitzer Prize-winning musical that became one of the defining cultural events of the last 20 years. Miranda's voice is perfectly suited for epic narration, and his presence underlined just how far WrestleMania has reached beyond the world of wrestling and into mainstream entertainment at large. And then, before the first match, out came a man who needs no introduction. John Cena walked down the ramp in a three-piece suit, moving slowly, though he picked up the pace in the final stretch, because some things never change. Cena has been on his farewell tour. After decades of being the face of the WWE, the man whose merchandise sold to millions of children, whose hustle, loyalty, respect catchphrase became part of the cultural vocabulary, he is saying goodbye. On this night, he was visibly emotional. He acknowledged that the road to WrestleMania had been chaotic and polarizing. He thanked the crowd, and he sent off the night with fireworks that lit up the Las Vegas sky. It was a beautiful moment. And then the music hit, and everything changed. The Usos theme exploded through the sound system, and night one of WrestleMania 42 was officially underway. The opening match of the night brought together one of the most entertaining combinations of professional wrestling and internet celebrity culture that WrestleMania has ever produced. On one side, LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso. On the other side,
Jimmy and Jey Uso, the twin cousins from the Samoan wrestling dynasty, have won championships, delivered countless classic matches, and remain among the most reliably great performers in any match. They are part of Logan Paul. Needs even less introduction outside wrestling circles. The YouTube star turned professional boxer turned WWE champion has legitimized himself as a performer in ways that few celebrity crossovers ever manage. He can work a match. He takes bumps. He sells. And he has genuine heat from the crowd, which is exactly what a heel or villain needs to have Austin. Theory rounds out that group as a younger heel who has grown considerably under the main event spotlight. And then there is IShowSpeed, one of the biggest content creators on the planet, with tens of millions of followers across YouTube and other platforms. Speed is not a professional wrestler. He is not trained for this, but he is enthusiastic, athletic enough to take spots, and genuinely committed to making the most of every second he is in that building. He arrived at WrestleMania under what was called the Curse of Danhausen, a comedic supernatural element layered into his character's story. The match was fun. The heels, Logan, Theory, and Speed, were supposed to work together, but Speed kept accidentally disrupting the plans. Knight dominated significant portions of the match, as he tends to do. In the end, Knight pushed Theory into Speed, hit his finishing move called the BFT on Theory, and got the pinfall victory for his team. But the real moment came after the bell. Logan Paul, furious about the loss, turned on Speed. He yelled at him. He threw him out of the ring. He cleared the announce table and made clear he was about to do something violent. But Knight and the Usos came back out. The Usos hit Logan with one of their signature moves, and then they encouraged Speed to climb to the top rope and do what Logan had intended to do to him. IShowSpeed climbed to the top of the ring post. He paused for just a moment, looking down at the table where Logan Paul was laid out, and then he launched himself into the air and crashed down through the table with the frog splash that shook the ringside area and sent the crowd absolutely insane. That moment is going to be replayed for a very long time. Speed was helped to his feet, celebrated with Knight and the Usos in the ring, and the crowd gave him one of the loudest pops of the night. It was the kind of unscripted feeling, joyful, absurd, spectacular moment that WrestleMania specializes in creating. The next match on the card brought a completely different energy. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match. When a match is labeled unsanctioned, it means the rules are essentially gone. Anything is legal.
There are no disqualifications, no countouts, no referee authority to enforce order. It is a license for two people to do anything they want to each other. And both Fatu and McIntyre used that license fully. Jacob Fatu is a member of the extended Samoan wrestling dynasty, related to the Usos, to Roman Reigns, to a family tree that has produced more WWE champions and Hall of Famers than any other in the history of the business. Fatu is an incredible physical specimen, combining size, agility, and power in a package that feels almost unfair. He is one of the most discussed young talents in wrestling right now. Drew McIntyre is the battle-tested veteran, the Scottish warrior, a former WWE champion who has been in the main event picture for years and always delivers in big moments. He has a physicality and a presence that very few people on the roster can match. This match was brutal. Chairs flew, blood was drawn. Both men pushed well beyond what a normal match would allow, and the crowd responded to every escalation. In the end, Jacob Fatu won by pinfall, and in doing so, took another step towards cementing himself as one of the next top stars of the company. Then came one of the most emotionally charged matches on the entire card. AJ Lee defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch. AJ Lee was, in many ways, the defining women's wrestler of the early 2010s in WWE. She was charismatic, technically gifted, and won the Divas Championship multiple times during the period when the women's division was not getting.
Becky is one of the most popular wrestlers of her generation. A former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, and a performer who can go toe-to-toe with anyone on the roster in terms of connecting with the crowd. The match delivered two veterans, two performers who know exactly what they are doing inside a ring. The crowd was invested from the first moment to the last. In the end, AJ Lee retained the championship. Becky Lynch, in defeat, earned every bit of the standing ovation she received. This was professional wrestling at its best. A real athletic competition wrapped in a story that meant something to the people watching. The next match on the card was for the Women's World Championship. Stephanie Vacher, the champion, defending against Liv Morgan, the winner of the 2026 Royal Rumble. Stephanie Vacher is a story in herself. A Chilean wrestler who climbed through the ranks, became a champion in Mexico, came to WWE, and has been proving herself as a world-class performer on the biggest stage in the business. She combines technical wrestling rooted in the lucha libre tradition with an athleticism and presence that translates across every market. She is, by any measure, a legitimate world champion. Liv Morgan's story is more complicated and arguably more fascinating. She came into WWE as a lovable underdog, the cool girl with the colorful gear and the infectious energy. Then, over time, her character evolved. She became more manipulative, more calculating. A character who existed in the morally gray space between hero and villain. She won the Royal Rumble and earned the right to challenge whichever women's champion she chose. She chose! Vacher Liv Morgan's entrance for this match was described as extravagant, spectacular. The kind of entrance that only the WrestleMania stage can accommodate. And the match itself lived up to the setup. Vacher brought her championship caliber wrestling. Morgan brought the desperation and an intensity of someone who has spent years working toward a moment like this. At the end of it all, Liv Morgan won. A new women's world champion was crowned in Las Vegas. The crowd erupted, and somewhere in that moment was the whole arc of Liv Morgan's career. From colorful underdog to morally complex anti-hero to WrestleMania champion. Then came Seth Rollins versus Gunther. If you want to talk about pure,
undiluted professional wrestling quality, these are two of the names that come up first in any serious conversation. Seth Rollins has called himself the best wrestler on planet Earth. He said it explicitly during the WrestleMania 42 kickoff show. He said it with total conviction. And while that claim is subjective, his in-ring body of work makes a compelling argument. Gunther is the Austrian powerhouse who has built an aura of near invincibility since arriving on the main roster. He wrestles with a controlled brutality that feels almost classical. Every chop sounds like a gunshot. Every hold looks tight and painful. Every moment inside the ring has weight and consequence. He is one of the most credible feeling wrestlers in the world today. These two gave the crowd exactly what those two names promise. A hard-hitting, technically sound, emotionally satisfying match that reminded everyone watching why professional wrestling, at its highest level, is genuinely compelling as a sport. Whether you believe in the predetermined outcomes or not, the athleticism and the storytelling in a match between Seth Rollins and Gunther are real and undeniable. And now, we arrive at the main event of Night 1. The match that defined the first night of WrestleMania 42. The Undisputed WWE Championship on the line. Cody Rhodes, the champion, against Randy Orton, the challenger. Let's start with Cody Rhodes. Cody is the son of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, one of the most beloved figures in the history of professional wrestling. Dusty was a champion many times over, but he never held the top title in WWE. That was the story Cody carried on his back when he returned to WWE after years away. And at WrestleMania 40, in front of 60,000 people, he completed the story. He won the championship his father never held. He stood in the ring with tears in his eyes and a title on his shoulder, and the crowd gave him one of the loudest ovations in the history of the event. Since then, Cody has carried the championship with a dignity that would have made his father proud. He's not just a character. He feels like a real champion. The crowd treats him like one Randy Orton is one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. 13-time world champion. The legend, killer turned apex predator. A man whose finishing move, the RKO, has been meme-ified and celebrated more than perhaps.
But the build to this match introduced a controversial element. Pat McAfee, the commentator, ESPN personality, and television host who had become one of the voices of WWE programming, was revealed as the man behind Orton's push toward the championship. And with that revelation came a promise. If Orton lost at WrestleMania, McAfee would leave WWE forever. Many fans felt that McAfee's insertion into the story was unnecessary. A rivalry between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, two of the best in the world, was already compelling enough on its own. Adding McAfee created noise around a signal that was already strong. The crowd made their displeasure with the angle known. But professional wrestling, as it always does, resolved everything inside the ring. The match was physical. It was bloody drama piled on top of drama. At one point, referee Charles Robinson took an RKO accidentally in the chaos of the moment and went down. Somewhere in the crowd, a cheer went up because Charles Robinson taking bumps is a tradition at this point. And then came a moment nobody fully expected. Jelly Roll, the singer from Nashville whose music about redemption and second chances and fighting through hard times is connected with millions of people across country music and hip-hop, walked down to ringside. He grabbed a chair and he hit Pat McAfee with a move that sent McAfee through a table and off the show on a stretcher. The crowd went absolutely crazy. McAfee, in an act of desperation that felt very on brand for his character, managed to return later in the match and inserted himself as a replacement referee. He tried to fast count for Orton,
it did not work. Orton, in what can only be described as perfect poetic justice, ended up hitting McAfee with an RKO. His own cornerman took his own finisher that left the ring clear. Cody Rhodes hit the crossroads. The referee counted to 3. Cody Rhodes retained the Undisputed WWE Championship. The crowd roared. McAfee, as promised within the storyline, was officially banned from WWE. Randy Orton, despite the loss, acted with respect afterward. The friendship held, and the message was clear. Cody Rhodes is still the champion, and this story is not over yet. But the night had one more surprise left. One of the biggest reactions of the entire evening, Paige came back. Paige was one of the most iconic women's wrestlers of the 2010s. She won the championship on her first night on the main roster. She was the youngest Divas champion in history. She was charismatic, technically brilliant, and the kind of performer that the crowd connected with instantly. And then injuries, serious, career-altering injuries, forced her away from in-ring competition long before any of us were ready to say goodbye. When her music hit in Las Vegas, the building erupted. The kind of reaction that is completely organic, completely genuine, completely irreplaceable. And Paige did not just appear as a guest, she competed. And Brie Bella entered a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and they won. Paige walked out of WrestleMania 42 as a champion. The crowd gave her everything they had. That is what WrestleMania does. It creates those moments, the return no one saw coming, the outcome no one predicted, the image that will still...
The man who held the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. For over 1,300 days, one of the greatest sustained championship reigns in the modern history of any major wrestling promotion. During that run, Roman transformed from a performer the crowd had complicated feelings about into an undeniable, transcendent villain whose faction, the Bloodline, told one of the most compelling long-form stories in wrestling history. Roman's return to challenge. CM Punk is the continuation of a chapter that is nowhere near finished. These two men in a championship match at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. That is a sentence that writes itself. Expect this match to be the longest on the card. Expect it to be the loudest. And expect it to surprise you in ways that a preview cannot anticipate. Also, on the night, 2 card is the WWE Women's Championship match. Jade Cargill, the champion, defends against Rhea Ripley. Jade Cargill is one of the most physically imposing and visually distinctive performers in the entire WWE. She came in from AEW, All Elite Wrestling, and made an immediate impact. She's still developing as a performer, still finding all the dimensions of her character and her in-ring style, but the ceiling is very high. She is a genuine main event presence. Rhea Ripley needs no building up. The Nightmare from Australia, a former champion, a former #1 contender at the Royal Rumble, a performer who many consider to be the best women's wrestler in the world right now. She combines physical power with charisma and a genuine menace that translates everywhere. Rhea versus Jade is a collision of 2 stars who represent the present and the future of the women's division simultaneously. Then there is the match between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Obafemi is one of the most significant investments WWE has made in building the next generation of top stars. He is enormous, athletic, and carries himself with a natural authority that most people spend years trying to develop. Putting him across from Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, the former UFC heavyweight champion, one of the most legitimately terrifying presences in the history of professional wrestling, is both a test and an endorsement.
If you can hang with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, you have earned something. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line in a ladder match. Penta defends against Javon, Evans, Dragon Lee, JD, McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. 6 people, 1 title hanging above the ring, 1 ladder, and the only way to win is to climb up and grab it while everyone else in the match is trying to stop you. Ladder matches are chaos built into a structure, and they almost always produce at least 1 or 2 moments that make the entire crowd gasp. Sami Zayn defends the United States Championship as well. Sami is one of the most beloved figures on the roster, a performer who took years to be positioned as a true main event star, but who earned every inch of that ground through the quality of his work and the genuine love of the people watching him. His championship reign has been treated as a celebration, and WrestleMania is the right place to see where that story goes next. Night 2 has the matches, it has the momentum from Night 1, and it has the Las Vegas crowd, which will have had 1 day to recover from Saturday's show, and will arrive on Sunday, ready to be loud all over again. Now, before we wrap up, let's spend a moment on some of the details that make WrestleMania 42 a fascinating event beyond just the matches. The attendance for Night 1 was approximately 50,386 tickets distributed, a slightly smaller number than last year's WrestleMania 41, which distributed over 60,000 for its first night. But 50,000 people in a stadium is an attendance that almost no other event in the entertainment world can match. WrestleMania generates hundreds of millions of dollars in economic impact for the cities that host it. Hotels sell out months in advance. Restaurants run specials. The city becomes, for a weekend, the world capital of professional wrestling. The involvement of Lin-Manuel Miranda as the narrator of the opening video is another signal of where WWE stands culturally right now. Miranda is not a wrestling fan making a cameo. He is one of the most respected creative voices in contemporary American entertainment, and his participation in the WrestleMania 42 opener says something about how the crossover between wrestling and mainstream pop culture has evolved. The presence of IShowSpeed says the same thing in a different register. Speed is not a legitimate professional wrestler, but his global reach as a content creator brings WWE to audiences the traditional advertisement and outreach simply cannot touch.
His moment crashing through that announce table is the kind of clip that will play in fan edits and compilation videos for years, introducing new viewers to the world of WrestleMania every time it circulates. And Jelly Roll, the singer from Nashville who has built a career on music about surviving hard times, making mistakes and finding redemption, and connecting with working-class audiences across genre lines. His presence at WrestleMania is not random. It reflects the genuine cultural common ground between country music's heartland audience and wrestling's core fan base. When Jelly Roll picked up that chair and hit Pat McAfee, the response from the crowd was partly laughing, partly shocked, and entirely joyful. That combination surprise, delight, spectacle is the WrestleMania formula. It has been working for 42 years. It shows no signs of stopping. There is a reason WrestleMania still matters in 2026. In an era of fragmented attention, endless content options, and 1,000 things competing for your time and emotion, WrestleMania continues to gather 50,000 people into a stadium and millions more in front of screens because it offers something rare. A story with stakes. For
Professional wrestling is, at its core, narrative. It is hero and villain, redemption and betrayal. The underdog who surprises everyone, and the champion who refuses to fall. These are not just wrestling stories. They are human stories. And WrestleMania is where those stories reach their peak, their resolution, their most dramatic and memorable moments. Cody Rhodes retaining the championship against Randy Orton was not just a match result. It was the confirmation that the right man is in the right place at the right time, and that the chapter built around him is far from over. Liv Morgan winning the women's world. Championship was not just a number in a title history. It was the conclusion of a long and complicated arc of a character who grew and changed, and arrived at WrestleMania as someone the crowd was ready to cheer. And Paige returning, that was something beyond wrestling. That was a reminder that these are real people, with real careers and real struggles. Paige dealt with injuries that should have ended everything. She found a way back. She stood in that Las Vegas ring under those lights, with the crowd screaming her name, and she walked out as a champion. That is the kind of moment that does not need any explanation. You feel it in your chest, whether you have watched wrestling for 20 years or 20 minutes. Night 2 is hours away. CM Punk and Roman Reigns are about to step into the ring on the biggest stage in professional wrestling. Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley are about to collide. Brock Lesnar is about to face the future in the form of Obafemi. And somewhere in the Allegiant Stadium, a ladder is gonna go up, and 6 people are gonna risk their bodies trying to climb it. Las Vegas is ready. The city that never stops has not stopped. The neon is still blazing outside and inside that stadium. WrestleMania is not finished yet. This is 42 years of history, tradition, spectacle, and storytelling, all running at full speed toward a Sunday night finish line. Whatever happens on night 2, one thing is certain. This weekend, the greatest show in professional wrestling lived up to its name. WrestleMania. There is nothing else like it.